Okay, so I haven't made a video in a while. Now, my last video, if I remember correctly, was my Bitcoin temporal pincer, where I really spoke about the false realm of Ethereum. Bitcoin is so valuable. It is so different from every other so-called digital currency. There is simply nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do. There's no power that anyone has. There's no money that anyone has to change its constraint that it places upon us. We can squeeze Vitalik's balls. We can massage Joe Lubin. We can compromise the Ethereum Foundation. These things are not stable substances. Ether. Bitcoin is not gold, it's not digital gold, but it's like a substance that cannot be disrupted. Its existence, the way in which it operates, is preserved, almost as if it is a non-decaying substance like gold. The network, it will be extremely difficult to change, just like changing the properties of gold. Ethereum does not connect you to the future. Gold can exist a million years in the past and a million years into the future. As a result, when you touch it, when you become in tune with it, you can almost connect your mind to that future. You can feel stable, spiritually stable with it. Now, Ethereum is putting you on an uncertain path. You could be anywhere. Your monetary stability and security is only as good as the properties of the monetary instrument that you're using. Ethereum can change. Ethereum will change. Okay, so right now we're seeing the push for the Ethereum story. I'm sorry, but the two substances are simply not the same. There is no second best, as Michael Saylor says. Okay. There are those who are going to use every opportunity to get as much Bitcoin as they can possibly get. And when they get it, you really understand that the whole network, the substance, is simply not the same. It's the monetary policy, the monetary properties of Ethereum are simply not as strong as Bitcoin's. Okay, I'm starting like I don't know what I'm saying, but I do know what I'm talking about. Once it is owned, it's never coming back. Okay, so the Ethereum temporal pincer reality, in which they convince you that Ethereum is somehow of equal to Bitcoin. I can already see it in my head. I understand the future of the substance. It's like stepping onto a boat, and I just get the vibe of its poor engineering. I get the vibe of its outcome, the way it hits the iceberg. I just intuitively know. I just intuitively know. That's just me. Maybe you're different. Maybe I'm wrong. However, I understand the two substances are completely different. Bitcoin, we're really going to discover we can't do anything about it. If the early supply is lost, we can't do anything about it. The network is still operating. Ethereum already demonstrated the DAO hack, wherever it was, the reversal of the chain. It's quite clear. It's quite clear. If there's an issue with BlackRock, Coinbase, it will hurt the space. But the substance itself remains the same. It's like Mt. Gox. It just carries on. Okay, there's no requirement that the early coins, the early supply needs to be available, accessible, in circulation. If the 14 million coins, which are not within an ETF, company, institution, etc., publicly owned, if it's owned by human beings and they're all dead, guess what? There's only 5-6 million Bitcoin left. And what will occur is an explosion in price, and there's simply nothing you can do. There was 80,000 coins that hadn't moved in 14 years. At what point do you think we can go in and say, but those coins are lost, we need to re-add it to the future distribution? Should we have done that in the 10th year, the 11th year, the 12th year? But you cannot compromise anyone's monetary what's this you cannot steal, you cannot censor, you cannot confiscate. In declaring those coins lost and saying that you must now issue more, is to really debase everyone. This is why I say we can't really do anything about the previous issued supply. It being inactive has nothing to do with the ongoing function of the network today. In fact, it even strengthens it even more because there are less coins available for purchase. Okay, but you at no point can declare any coin unfunctional and thus requiring to be reissued or reaccessed, because as you can see, the person didn't come back on the 13th year, but they came back on the 14th year, and that money is theirs. So Bitcoins cannot move for 10, 15, 20 years, and the owner can come back and claim it. But in that time, what will be experienced if they do not wish to sell their coins, reintroduce them into circulation, is that there are less coins to buy and less coins that can be sold, meaning less coins that can suppress the price, meaning that the price can go as high as it needs to until, supply matches demand. So, to reiterate, the Ethereum fantasy point in time, genius act, stable coins, it doesn't matter. Bitcoin is a substance that is connected to 150 years from now and still unchanged. I'm sorry, but Ethereum just doesn't offer that. But what the temporal pincer sort of story said is that they could keep humanity in such an illusion for a continued period of time, making you believe that it was such the case, whilst the main objective is really always to absorb Bitcoin. Now, I don't think it will last 100 years. That's in my opinion. But stablecoin, Genius Act, 1 year, 5 year, 10 years, to lull you into a sense of safety, security, and the lie that these two things are the same. They're just simply not. Do I see a future in which Ethereum survives and Bitcoin doesn't? That doesn't make sense. How, there's an intention to secure your wealth, and really and truly, no one can do anything about Bitcoin. If we enter a world where Ethereum survives and Bitcoin does not, then what does that mean for Ethereum? If the unshakable, unkillable coin that Bitcoin was meant to be gets destroyed or no longer exists, then where will you be able to secure your wealth in this digital format? So the temporal pincer is that people in the future, or people already have access to an understanding that Bitcoin is a very different substance. The only thing that you're going to want to own. Ethereum doesn't compare. And as a result, they will create a false story, a false narrative, a false reality, as they're doing right now, as I'm seeing right now regarding this Ethereum. I've seen someone say that they stopped mining Bitcoin because they were unprofitable, to now become a Ethereum treasury company. This is the dumbest thing. Once you speak the language, once you are literate, Ethereum treasury company is nonsensical. It's like saying I wanna sail on a ship that has holes in it, or that could potentially have holes in it. It's like somewhere along your journey, you're gonna sink. It's a vessel that can leak. Why would you subject yourself to a capital leak? you're wasting your effort to accumulate something which the Ethereum Foundation, whoever, can make changes. Monetary policy, oh, it needs to be deflationary now. Oh, it needs to be inflationary. Oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. An Ethereum treasury company, your timeline, you are subjecting yourself to doing more work, to more chaos, to capital leaks, to spiritual energetic leaks, because when if for example in the fiat system your money can be debased, you're now required to do more work. You're putting yourself in that position to be paid a salary and it's fixed, but then for them to suddenly debase the money, and now you have a greater energetic requirement as a result of there being a capital leak. Your money's worth less. And now look at the position you're in. You're on the treadmill once again, having to run faster. You as an in-tune spiritual being should know that you should be able to touch a substance. You should be able to, have the option between two things and to just get the intuition and vibe, from it, from the choice, from the substance, from the material. Gold is connected 1 million, 2 billion, trillions of years into the future and past. You should, there could be a coin in your hand that a person 300 years ago has held. Many have looked upon the substance. That is what you should be connected to. When you're holding fiat, it's like it's a piece of paper. It's fiction. It's an illusion. The whole fiat system is about disconnecting your mind from that continuation, that greater understanding. It's a land floating in, it's a city floating in space. A place where you can't even see the stars. So do not fall for the Ethereum nonsense. I can't really grasp it. It's like, if you own 50% of the Bitcoin supply, what can anyone else do? You can shine your objects, but at the end of the day, you own 50%, and they're gonna have to deal with the rest. They're gonna have to fight over the rest. I don't understand. Bitcoin is the only thing that offers you, that them fighting for the rest is what pushes Bitcoin above everything else. It's what makes it a store of value. It's what makes it have the highest year on or year end return above everything else. It's why there's no other money that can store, there's no other monetary technology that will be able to store value and maintain value like Bitcoin is. Thus everyone is in the position of realizing this and will be scrambling to get some. There's no work you can do that allows you to preserve your energy like Bitcoin does. To finally stop moving. The fiat system requires constant movement, constant energy expenditure. There is nothing that's going to give you that ability. Bitcoin will surpass gold. There is nothing there's no monetary technology this advanced that can constrain the supply, not only in total amount, but in its emission through time. 1 block every 10 minutes. There's nothing that's going to have a strong enough monetary policy like this. Everyone is now treading on water, and Bitcoin is literally a ship. It's literally a ship. All other currencies are just life vest. You're still in the water. You still kind of have to exert energy. Some life vests are better than others, but you're still in the water. Still the risk of drowning if the sea becomes too turbulent. So for those who can see the outcome, once you own your Bitcoin, you have the privilege of doing nothing. Everyone else must work, must chase beta, must chase the highest return to outcompete a monetary instrument that's really just gonna go up because of all the work that everyone is doing. And when I say work, I'm not acting like work is bad, but unnecessary work when you're having to work harder, run faster, to stay, on the treadmill, to tread water, to stay afloat. Yeah, I can really end that there. So if you own Bitcoin, you are the only person who has the privilege of doing nothing, finally being at rest. And there is nothing anyone can do to remove your position, 1 out of 21 million, or however much you want to buy. No one can do anything to remove, redefine your position. They can't make it 1 out of 22 million, give themselves more space. They're having to buy your coins out of those 21 million. That's it. Or they gotta wait every 10 minutes for the new block emission. That's it. So if you own 50% of the supply, what would you be doing? If you own 90%, what would you be doing? If you own Satoshi's 1 million, what would you be doing? How can Satoshi outtrade himself or herself? All the work that they did, secured into 1 million BTC, would he or she have been trading altcoins? Just would have been creating more work for themselves. They bought Bitcoin and did nothing. Everyone else who doesn't understand that is going to be chasing this beta yield, and it's all going to be underperforming Bitcoin. Whoever makes money is going to be smart and store it in Bitcoin, meaning that there's less and it goes higher. It outcompetes everything. What are they going to be doing? Where can they store value? When anything that stores value, that energy, that energetic value will be extracted from. It will dissipate until they've extracted as much of it as they can to get more Bitcoin, because Bitcoin will just keep going up and up. As you can see right now, it's possible to accumulate Bitcoin and have the price not go drastically up. But then there are consequences. Once all the available supply has been absorbed, it is realized. Do you understand? Like the bull market of 2017 was based upon the unmovable supply that was accumulated between 2009 to 2016. Okay, that's what the exponential rise is built upon. It's the work of others. We're built upon Satoshi's work. The accumulation of today is gonna be the exponential vertical explosion of tomorrow. Yeah, where those of today decide they're not selling the coins. The first was done by mining. This will be done by capital accumulation. It's as simple as that.